Okay, now we're ready to do a triangle. And I have a note that 14 foot does the end triangle. It might not take you that much. I think that's probably more than most people need, but I wanted to make sure I have enough. So again, make notes on how much yarn it takes to do the end triangle so that you can conserve your yarn. Now, I've cut 14 foot and I folded it in half. And I also cut another 14 foot for the other triangle on the opposite end, and it's attached to my loom, so I have it ready. So I'm going to go around not the first one, I'm going around the second one. And again, as I go left to right, I am going over the top of the one that came from behind. So I'm going behind. The one that's behind comes forward. The one that's forward goes behind. Making sure I hit each of the warps. So the one that's in forward goes behind, and it's going over the top of the one that just came forward. So I'm going to go from left to right in this manner. Making sure you kind of pull them so they're all even. And again, some people weave tighter than others. Some people pull it a little firmer. But again, make sure you pack it down this way. Don't pull it real tight this way. So I'm going to go all the way over here. And instead of going around the outside warp, I am going to go around the second one. Now, I want to make sure they both go around this second warp. So the one that's in forward goes clear around that warp, and the one that's in back comes forward. Now again, I'm going to do just underneath instead of over. Instead of going over each time, I'm going to go underneath and around that warp. So I'm going to go under that yarn and around that next warp, packing it down firmly. Again, underneath and around that warp. So pack it down nice and tight. I'm going to go underneath. And this will eventually, you can see that it's forming a diagonal going this way. Now again, there are multiple ways to do this, and each of them is right and none is wrong. So I'm going to go underneath. Now, since this is going to be a triangle on the end, I am going to stop one short of where I started. So instead of going around the second warp, I'm going to go around the third one. And again, they both have to go around that outside warp. So the one that was in back comes forward. The one that's in front goes clear around that outside warp. So they're both going around that outside warp. Make sure you pull them up snug so you have a nice, neat end. So this time they're going to go over. So it's going to go over that warp, out around the back side of the next warp. Oops. All the way across. So on this one, I'm going to stop on, last time I went around warp 2, I'm going to stop on the third one this time. And the one that's in back comes forward. The one that is forward goes all the way behind that one. Make sure they're both snug around that. And then when I go right to left, it's going to go under instead of over. Making sure you kind of pull your cords up so they're even. Don't have any loops on the back. And you can make diamonds, you can make triangles. You can make all kinds of different designs on your cinch. Of course, you can use all kinds of colors, whatever works best for you. Make it match your horse gear, make it match somebody else's horse gear. Make it to match a saddle blanket. Packing it down firm this way. Okay, now, I went around the second one first, then I went around the third one. Now I want to go around the fourth one, have that in my end. So the one that was in back comes forward, the one that was forward goes all the way around that warp. Now I'm ready to go back again. Again. It's getting one shorter each row. And when you're doing this, I recommend that you set this on a coffee table or something so you're working below your shoulder height. It's a little better for your body if you're working below your shoulders. So you can see it's getting one shorter each time. And again, this turning warp, I'm going to go around with both of them. So they're both going around that warp. And then going right to left, I'm going under instead of over. Packing it down nice and tight. And I'm going to end on this one. So it's getting shorter and shorter. Now I want to end on this one. And again, I'm going right to left. I'm going to go under instead of over my yarns. And again, I'm going to end one less. Packing it down tight. And I'm going to end on this one. And then when I go back the opposite way, I'm to the middle. Yay! Now, when you reach the center warp, you want to go around it a couple times so you get a nice sharp looking point on your triangle. You see, I have quite a bit of yarn left. I could cut off about 2 feet on my notes here and still have enough. So again, I encourage you to make notes. So once I'm here, I have 2 ends to bury. And I'm going to run this one. And you run it down that warp and come out Oops. Come out right there. Pull it out with the pliers. Now, the other one is on the back side. Some people don't like to bury their yarns on the back side, but I do because I don't feel any lumps or bumps. So I'm going to bury it on the back side. Cut this one off, give it a little tug, being careful not to cut what you're not supposed to. Give it a little tug, and the end will just slide back in there. Then I'm going to turn my loom around, and I'm going to bury that one on the back side.